The stars looked different from the bridge of the New Horizon. Commander Taemin Kim pressed his hand against the cool metal wall and watched the endless black space outside. 3 years into their journey, and Earth was just a memory now. A small blue dot somewhere behind them that they could not even see anymore. "Any signals today?" Captain Jin Woo Lee asked as he walked onto the bridge. His gray uniform was crisp and clean, just like every day since they left Earth. The man never seemed to relax, not even out here where nothing ever happened. "Nothing, sir," replied Dr. So-Young Park from her station. She was looking at screens full of numbers and wave patterns. "Space is still quiet. No alien radio waves, no messages, nothing at all." Taemin nodded. It was always the same answer. When Earth built the New Horizon, everyone expected they would find signs of alien life quickly. Movies and books made it seem like space was full of creatures trying to talk to each other. The reality was much more boring. Just empty space and distant stars. The ship moved through the darkness at speeds that would have been impossible just 50 years ago. Humanity had finally cracked faster than light travel, though barely. The New Horizon was their first real test, sent to explore the nearest star systems and look for any signs that humans were not alone in the universe. "We should reach the next system in 2 days," Taemin said, checking his instruments. "The computers say it has 3 planets. Maybe one of them will be interesting." Jin Woo smiled, but it was a tired smile. "You have been saying that about every system, Taemin. So far we have found rocks, gas, and more rocks." Dr. Park laughed softly. "That is what space exploration is really like. Not like the movies at all." She was the ship's expert on alien life, though she had not found any aliens to study yet. "But we keep looking. Someone has to be out there." What none of them knew was that someone was indeed out there. Far away, in a part of space they had never heard of, machines were watching. These machines belonged to the Galactic Council, a group of alien races that had worked together for thousands of years. The Council had rules about new species like humans. When a race learned to travel faster than light, the Council would send them a message. This message was very important. It told new species where to go for peaceful contact. It warned them about dangerous areas of space. Most importantly, it told them to stay away from the void territories. The void territories were places in space that no one talked about. Long ago, terrible wars had been fought there. These wars were so bad that reality itself was broken in those areas. The Council had marked them as forbidden. No ships were allowed to enter. No one was supposed to even fly near them. But humans had never received this message. When the New Horizon left Earth, the Council's machines detected their faster-than-light signature immediately. The automatic systems did exactly what they were supposed to do. They sent the standard first contact message toward Earth, using quantum frequencies that any spacefaring race should be able to detect. The message traveled through space at incredible speeds. It carried all the information humans would need to make peaceful contact with the galaxy. It contained star maps, communication protocols, and most importantly, clear warnings about where humans should never go. The message reached Earth's solar system just as a massive solar storm was hitting the planet. The sun was throwing out huge amounts of radiation and electromagnetic energy. Earth's primitive communication arrays, designed for basic space travel, were overwhelmed by the interference. The quantum message from the Council passed right through Earth's detection systems without being noticed. It was like trying to hear a whisper during a thunderstorm. On Earth, no one knew anything had happened. The solar storm knocked out some satellites and caused pretty light shows in the sky, but that was normal. Nobody realized that humanity had just missed the most important message in their history. Meanwhile, the New Horizon continued on its planned route. The ship's computers had been programmed before launch to explore certain star systems that looked promising. The course would take them through several areas that, unknown to humans, were very close to the void territories. Back at the Council's monitoring station, an alien technician checked the automated systems. The message had been sent to the new species according to protocol. The systems showed that the message had reached the human solar system successfully. As far as the Council knew, humans had received all the information they needed. Another new species contacted, the technician noted in the official records. Standard first contact message delivered. They should make contact within the next few years if they follow normal patterns. The Council expected humans to change their course after receiving the message. New species usually did. They would head toward one of the designated meeting points for first contact, avoiding the dangerous areas they had been warned about. But humans kept flying toward the void territories. Dr. Park was in her small laboratory when the ship's long-range sensors picked up something unusual. She was studying rock samples from the last planet they had visited when her computer started beeping. "Taemin, Jinwoo, you need to see this," she called over the ship's communication system. The two men arrived quickly. Dr. Park pointed at her screen, which showed a three-dimensional map of the space ahead of them. "The sensors are detecting artificial structures," she said, her voice excited. "Big ones. Really big." Taemin stared at the display. "Are you sure? That could just be asteroids or natural formations." "No, look at the patterns. These are definitely made by someone. The shapes are too regular, too organized to be natural." Dr. Park zoomed in on the sensor data. "And they are massive. Some of these structures are bigger than Earth's moon." Jinwoo felt his heart beat faster. This was what they had come to find. After 3 years of empty space and dead rocks, they had finally found proof that humanity was not alone. "How far away?" he asked. "About 2 days at our current speed," Taemin replied. "We should be able to get much better sensor readings as we get closer." None of them realized they were approaching the edge of the first void territory. None of them knew that the massive structures they were detecting should not exist. According to every record in the Galactic database, the void territories were empty graveyards where nothing lived and nothing could survive. But the humans had never received that message. As the New Horizon moved closer to its first contact with alien civilization, ancient automated defense systems that had been sleeping for centuries began to wake up. Deep in the Forbidden Zone, machines that had been built to destroy anything that moved started powering up their weapons. The humans flew forward into the darkness, excited and hopeful about what they might find. Behind them, Earth continued, its orbit around the sun, unaware that its children were heading directly into the most dangerous place in the galaxy. The message had been sent, but humanity had missed it completely. Soon they would send a message of their own that the entire galaxy could not ignore. The first shot came without warning. One moment, the New Horizon was cruising peacefully toward the mysterious structures. The next moment, alarms were screaming throughout the ship as something slammed into their shields with enough force to shake the entire vessel. "What was that?" Captain Jinwoo Lee shouted as he grabbed onto his chair. The lights flickered, and several computer screens went dark. Taemin was already working at his controls, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "Unknown energy weapon. It came from one of those structures ahead of us." He looked up with worry in his eyes. "Sir, whatever hit us was powerful. Really powerful." Dr. So-Young Park stared at her instruments in shock. The energy readings are incredible. I have never seen anything like this technology before. A young engineer named Ha-Nul Choi ran onto the bridge, her face pale with fear. Commander Kim, we have damage on 3 decks. The energy beam did something strange to our hull. It is like the metal was twisted at the atomic level. Before anyone could respond, another blast hit them. This time, the ship's gravity failed for several seconds, and everyone floated in the air before crashing back down. "Return fire!" Jin Woo ordered. Lieutenant Eugene Kang, the ship's security chief, was already at the weapons controls. "Firing! Missiles now, sir!" The New Horizons' weapons were simple compared to what was attacking them. They had nuclear missiles and laser cannons designed for destroying asteroids or defending against pirates. But they were all humans had. The missiles streaked toward the alien structure, tiny points of light against the massive dark shape. When they hit, explosions bloomed like flowers in the darkness. To everyone's surprise, parts of the alien structure began to break apart. "We hurt it," Eugene said with amazement. "Our primitive weapons actually damaged their technology, but more structures were appearing on the sensors, dozens of them, all turning toward the human ship. Energy beams began firing from multiple directions. "Evasive maneuvers," Jin Woo commanded. Taemin pushed the engines to their limits, sending the New Horizon dancing between the deadly beams. The ship twisted and turned through space like a bird avoiding hunters. Some shots missed, but others found their target, each hit causing more damage. Dr. Park was studying the alien weapons with fascination, even as the ship shook around her. "These energy beams are not just weapons," she said excitedly. "They are manipulating space-time itself. The aliens are bending reality to attack us." Ha-Nul looked up from her damage control station. "That explains what happened to our hull. They are not just shooting at us with energy. They are changing how space works around us." The battle continued for hours. The human ship was fast and small compared to the massive alien structures, and that saved their lives. The aliens seemed designed to fight large, slow-moving ships. They had trouble hitting something as quick and unpredictable as the New Horizon, but humans were learning too. Eugene discovered that their nuclear weapons were especially effective against the alien technology. "I think their shields are designed to stop energy weapons," she reported. "They are not expecting old-fashioned explosives." "Then we give them explosives," Jin Woo said grimly. "How many missiles do we have left?" "Not enough," Taemin replied. "Sir, I recommend we retreat. We are outgunned and outnumbered." Jin Woo looked at the tactical display. More alien structures were appearing all the time, as if the first battle had woken up an entire sleeping army. Any sensible captain would run away and report back to Earth. But Jin Woo was thinking about something else. These aliens were hostile. They had attacked without any attempt to communicate. They were using technology that could bend reality itself, and they were hiding in a part of space that was supposed to be empty. "No retreat," he decided. "We need to find out what we are dealing with here. If these things are a threat, Earth needs to know about them." Dr. Park had been listening to the alien communications during the battle. "Captain, I have been analyzing their signals. These are not the same aliens who built those structures." Everyone turned to look at her. "What do you mean?" Taemin asked. "The structures are old, but the things controlling them are different. It is like they moved into abandoned buildings and set up weapons." She showed them her analysis on the main screen. "The architectural style does not match the technology signatures of whoever is shooting at us." Ha-Nul had made her own discovery. "Sir, our quantum computers are acting strange around these aliens. It is like their reality-bending technology cannot affect our computer systems properly. What kind of strange? Yujin asked while firing another missile. Our targeting systems are working better than they should. Our navigation is more accurate. It is like we have some kind of natural immunity to their space-time manipulation. That gave Jin Woo an idea. If we cannot be affected by their main weapon, then we have an advantage they do not know about. He turned to Tae Min. Take us deeper into their territory. If we are going to fight, let us fight where they do not expect it. The New Horizon dove deeper into the alien-controlled space. Around them, ancient structures loomed like metal mountains in the darkness. Most were clearly abandoned and had been for a very long time. But some had been reactivated, turned into weapons platforms by whatever was using them now. As they flew deeper, Dr. Park made an alarming discovery. Captain, I am detecting massive energy buildups throughout this region. It looks like preparations for something big. How big? Jin Woo asked. Big enough to threaten entire star systems, she replied, quietly. Whatever these things are planning, it is not just about defending this territory. They are getting ready to expand. Yujin had been monitoring the alien communications. Sir, I am picking up transmissions being sent toward the edge of this region. They are reporting our presence to something else. Ha-Nul looked up from her console with fear in her eyes. Commander, the sensor readings are showing movement throughout this entire area. Thousands of structures are powering up. It is like we accidentally woke up a sleeping army. Tae Min checked their position on the star charts. According to Earth's records, this area of space was supposed to be empty. No stars, no planets, no life. But they were surrounded by more alien technology than humans had ever imagined possible. Whatever these things are, they have been here for a long time, Dr. Park said. And they have been very busy building something. Another wave of attacks forced them to take evasive action. The New Horizon twisted through a field of debris from some ancient battle, using the wreckage as cover. Old, dead ships from unknown races drifted past them, some bigger than Earth's largest cities. This whole area is a graveyard, Yujin observed. But something is living in it now. Jin Woo made a decision that would change everything. Instead of trying to escape, he ordered the ship to head toward the center of the alien activity. If we are going to find answers, we need to go to the source. Sir, that could be suicide, Tae Min warned. Maybe. But running away definitely will not save Earth if these things decide to expand their territory. Jin Woo looked at his crew with determination. We came out here to find aliens. Well, we found them. Now we need to figure out what they want. As the New Horizon flew deeper into the Forbidden Zone, they began to detect something that made everyone's blood run cold. Massive construction projects were underway throughout the region. The aliens were not just defending their territory. They were building something huge. Dr. Park analyzed the construction patterns with growing horror. Captain, based on these energy signatures and the construction timeline, I estimate they will be ready to begin major expansion operations within weeks. Expansion toward what? Ha-Nul asked, though she feared she already knew the answer. Toward inhabited space, Dr. Park replied. Toward places where people live. The human ship continued deeper into the alien territory, dodging weapons fire and mapping the enemy positions. They were alone, outnumbered, and thousands of light years from home. But they kept going because someone had to witness what was happening in the Forbidden Zone. Someone had to survive to warn the galaxy about what was coming. Far from the battle raging in the Forbidden Zone, Counselor Vexhai noticed something wrong with the reports. The tall, blue-skinned alien stood in the Council's monitoring center, looking at data that did not make sense. The human ship should have made contact by now, Vex-High said to the technician beside him. All new species respond to the first contact message within days of receiving it. The technician, a creature with 6 arms and compound eyes, checked the records again. The message was delivered successfully, Counselor. Our systems show no transmission errors. Then why are they flying toward the void territories? Vex-High's voice carried worry. Do they not understand the warnings? Meanwhile, aboard the New Horizon, Dr. Aun Seo Lim was making discoveries that would terrify the galaxy. The ship's physicist had been studying the alien technology during their running battles, and what she found was impossible. These things are not just bending space-time, she told Captain Jinwoo Lee. They are consuming it. They are eating reality itself. Pilot Dong-Hyun Nam had just returned from a reconnaissance mission, his small fighter craft damaged but intact. Sir, I got close enough to one of their big ships to scan it properly. The readings are insane. Show me, Taemin said, pulling up the sensor data on the main screen. The readings showed something that should not exist. The alien ships were not made of normal matter. They existed partially outside of normal space, feeding on the dimensional barriers between realities. That is why the void territories are forbidden, Dr. So-Young Park realized. Previous civilizations fought these things and lost. Instead of defeating them, they just locked them away. Hanul Choi had been working on the ship's computers, trying to understand why human technology worked so well against the aliens. I figured it out, she announced excitedly. Our quantum computer architecture is completely incompatible with their reality manipulation. What does that mean? Jinwoo asked. It means they cannot affect us the way they affect other species. Their main weapon, bending space and time, does not work properly on human technology. We are like a virus that their immune system cannot recognize. This explained why the New Horizon had survived so long against impossible odds. While the aliens could twist space around other ships, human computers and systems remained stable and functional. Dong-Hyun had been studying the tactical situation. Sir, if we can stay immune to their reality weapons, we actually have a chance. Their ships are powerful, but they are not designed to fight enemies they cannot affect with their main systems. But the aliens were learning too. Each battle showed them adapting their tactics, finding new ways to attack the stubborn human ship. They began using conventional weapons alongside their reality manipulation, making the fights much more dangerous. Dr. Lim made another disturbing discovery. Captain, I have been analyzing the debris from their construction projects. These things are not just building ships. They are creating dimensional anchors. What are dimensional anchors? Yujin Kang asked while checking the weapon systems. Devices that let them exist in normal space permanently. Right now, they can only stay in our reality for limited time, periods. But if they finish those anchors, they can invade and stay forever. The implications were horrifying. The aliens were not just preparing to expand their territory. They were preparing to fundamentally change how reality worked in inhabited space. Back at the Galactic Council, Vex-High had finally decided to investigate. Send a patrol ship to check on the humans, he ordered. If they are lost in the void territories, we need to know. The patrol ship was small and fast, designed for reconnaissance missions. It headed toward the last known position of the human vessel, expecting to find debris and maybe some survivors to rescue. What they found instead was an active war zone. Counselor Vex-High, the patrol ship captain reported, his voice shaking. You need to see this immediately. The transmission showed massive battles raging throughout the First Void territory. Energy weapons fired in all directions. Explosions lit up the darkness like stars being born and dying in seconds. And in the middle of it all, one small ship flew impossible patterns, fighting against odds that should have destroyed it instantly. The humans are still alive? Vexhai could not believe what he was seeing. How is that possible? Sir, they appear to be winning, the patrol captain replied. That was even more impossible. The Void territories contained horrors that had defeated entire galactic civilizations. No single ship should be able to survive there, let alone fight effectively. Aboard the New Horizon, the crew was learning just how dangerous their enemies really were. Dr. Park had been analyzing captured alien communications, and her findings were terrifying. These are not random attacks, she reported. The aliens are reality parasites. They feed on dimensional energy, and they have been slowly consuming the Void territories for centuries. How slowly? Jinwoo asked. Based on the consumption patterns, they will finish absorbing the forbidden zones within the next few years. After that, they will need new feeding grounds. Taemin understood immediately. Inhabited space. They are going to invade the galaxy not to conquer it, but to eat it. Hanuel had been monitoring the alien construction projects. Sir, their dimensional anchors are almost complete. Once they finish them, they can begin large-scale reality manipulation throughout normal space. The battle was becoming more desperate. By the hour, the aliens were throwing everything they had at the human ship, trying to destroy it before it could escape and warn others. But humans were proving remarkably hard to kill. Dong-Hyun led fighter sorties through folded space-time, developing tactics that no other species had ever attempted. They can bend space, but they cannot bend us, he reported after destroying another alien weapon platform. We just fly straight through their reality tricks and hit them with good old-fashioned explosives. Dr. Lim made a breakthrough that changed everything. Captain, I know why we are immune to their reality manipulation. Human consciousness operates on quantum frequencies that are naturally resistant to dimensional interference. You mean it is not just our technology? Yujin asked. No, it is us. Human brains themselves are incompatible with their reality-bending abilities. We are literally the one species in the galaxy that they cannot control or confuse. This revelation explained why previous civilizations had failed. The reality parasites could manipulate the thoughts and perceptions of other species, making them see illusions or forget what they were fighting. But humans remained clear-headed and focused no matter what the aliens tried. The Council Patrol ship continued watching the impossible battle. The human vessel was damaged and outnumbered, but it kept fighting with a determination that amazed the alien observers. They are not trying to escape, the patrol captain reported. They are pushing deeper into the forbidden zone. Vexhai felt a chill run through his body. Get me a direct communication link to their ship. We need to warn them about what they are facing. But when the patrol ship tried to contact the New Horizon, they received a message that shocked them to their core. This is Captain Jinwoo Lee of the human vessel New Horizon, came the transmission. To any galactic authorities receiving this message, be advised that we have discovered an active infestation of reality parasites in the Void territories. These entities are preparing for large-scale invasion of inhabited space. We are moving to engage their primary staging area. The transmission cut off as the human ship accelerated toward the heart of the alien territory, where massive fleets were preparing for galactic conquest. Vexhai stared at the communication in disbelief. The humans had not only survived the void territories, they had identified the threat and were planning to attack it directly. They were doing exactly what every previous civilization had been too afraid to attempt. "Send word to the High Council immediately," Vex High ordered. "Tell them that the primitive species we contacted has just declared war on the oldest nightmare in the galaxy." As the New Horizon flew toward its greatest battle, the crew knew they were probably flying to their deaths. But they also knew that someone had to try. Earth was too far away to help, and the galactic community did not even know the danger existed. It was up to them to send a message that the entire galaxy could not ignore. The staging area was bigger than anything humans had ever imagined. Millions of alien ships floated in formations that stretched across entire star systems. Dark vessels that existed partially outside reality gathered around massive dimensional anchors, preparing for an invasion that would consume the galaxy. Communications Officer Mireille Song stared at the tactical display with horror and determination. "Captain, there are too many of them. Even if every ship in the galaxy came here, we would still be outnumbered 1,000 to 1. Captain Jin-Woo Lee nodded grimly. The New Horizon was damaged, running low on weapons and thousands of light years from any help. Their engines were barely holding together, and hull breaches had forced them to seal off entire sections of the ship. "We cannot fight them all," he agreed. "But maybe we do not have to." Taemin looked up from his engineering station. "What do you mean, sir?" "Mireille has been working on something special," Jinwoo said. "Tell them about your plan." Mireille took a deep breath. She had been developing the idea during their long battles through the Forbidden Zone, but saying it out loud made it seem even more impossible. "The dimensional anchors are the key," she explained. "The aliens need them to exist permanently in our reality. If we can destroy the anchors, we can send them back to whatever dimension they came from." Dr. Yunseo Lim shook her head. "The anchors are massive, and they are protected by the entire alien fleet. We do not have enough weapons to destroy even one of them." "We do not need conventional weapons," Mireille replied. "We need to overload our quantum drive." The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood what she was suggesting. The quantum drive was what allowed them to travel faster than light. If they overloaded it deliberately, the resulting explosion would be enormous, but it would also destroy their ship completely. The energy release would be focused through the dimensional barriers that the aliens are using, Mireille continued. It would create a chain reaction that could collapse multiple anchor points simultaneously. Hanul Choi had been running calculations on her computer. The explosion would be detectable across the entire galaxy. Every civilization with advanced sensors would see it. "That is the point," Jin-Woo said quietly. "We cannot escape to warn the galaxy about this threat, but we can make sure our deaths send a message that no one can ignore." Dr. So-Young Park had been analyzing the alien fleet formations. "If we target the central anchor complex, the chain reaction should destroy at least 70% of their invasion force. It would set their plans back by decades, maybe centuries." Eugene Kong checked their weapon systems one last time. "Sir, we still have 6 nuclear missiles left. If we are going to do this, we should take out as many of their command ships as possible first." Taemin was already modifying the quantum drive systems. "I can have the overload ready in 30 minutes, but once I start the sequence, there will be no way to stop it." Dong-Hyun Nam returned from his final reconnaissance mission, his fighter craft barely holding together. "Sir, I mapped their defensive positions. There is a gap in their coverage, near the primary anchor. If we come in fast and low, we might reach it before they can stop us." Admiral Thekfor of the Galactic Council received the patrol ship's latest report with disbelief. The humans had been broadcasting tactical data about the reality parasites on all galactic frequencies, sharing everything they had learned about fighting the ancient enemy. "They are giving away their tactical advantages," Thekfor said to his aide. "Why would they do that?" "Perhaps they know they cannot survive," the aide replied. "They want to make sure others can continue the fight." The transmission from the human ship was interrupted by massive energy buildups. Something big was about to happen in the Void Territories. Aboard the New Horizon, the crew made their final preparations. Mireille recorded detailed messages about the reality parasites and their weaknesses, broadcasting them continuously on every frequency they could access. "Attention, Galactic Community," her transmission began. "This is the human vessel New Horizon. We have discovered that the Void Territories contain an active infestation of reality parasites, preparing for galactic invasion. The following tactical data shows their weaknesses and how to fight them effectively." Dr. Park added her own analysis. "These entities feed on dimensional energy and can manipulate space-time at will. However, they are vulnerable to conventional explosives and cannot affect human quantum computer systems. They are preparing dimensional anchors that will allow permanent invasion of normal space." The ship shuddered as alien weapons found their target. Energy beams that bent reality itself struck the hull, but the human crew remained focused on their mission. "Beginning final approach," Dong-hyun reported from the pilot station. "Alien fighters are moving to intercept." "Take us through them," Jin-Woo ordered. The New Horizon dove into the enemy formation like a bullet fired into a swarm of insects. Nuclear missiles streaked out from their launchers, each one finding a target among the command ships. Explosions bloomed throughout the alien fleet as the humans carved a path toward their objective. Hanul monitored the quantum drive modifications. "Overload sequence initiated. We have 15 minutes until critical failure." More alien ships moved to block their path. Reality twisted around them as the parasites tried to stop the human vessel, but the quantum computers remained stable, keeping the ship on course. 10 minutes to detonation," Taemin announced. "All systems are operating normally." Yujin fired their last weapons at the defensive platforms around the central anchor. "That is all our missiles, sir. We are running on momentum now." The dimensional anchor loomed ahead of them, a massive structure that existed partially in normal space and partially in dimensions that humans had no names for. It pulsed with energy that made reality itself seem to bend and flow around it. 5 minutes, Hanul called out. Mireille continued broadcasting their tactical data, making sure every piece of information they had gathered would reach the galactic community. Human quantum computing architecture appears naturally resistant to reality manipulation. Recommend all future anti-parasite operations utilize human-designed computer systems. 2 minutes to critical overload, Taemin announced. The alien fleet was converging on them from all directions, but it was too late. The New Horizon was already committed to its final course. 1 minute, Hanul said quietly. Jin-Woo looked around at his crew. These people had volunteered to explore the unknown, and they had found something beyond their worst nightmares. But they had also found the courage to face it. "It has been an honor serving with all of you," he said simply. 30 seconds, Taemin called out. The quantum drive began to destabilize, reality warping around it as massive amounts of energy built up beyond safe levels. The dimensional anchor ahead of them pulsed with alarm as the aliens finally realized what the humans were planning. 10 seconds, Hanul whispered. Mirai sent one final transmission. This is the human vessel New Horizon. We are about to engage the enemy with extreme prejudice. Remember us. The quantum drive reached critical overload. The explosion was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The energy release tore through multiple dimensions simultaneously, creating a chain reaction that collapsed dozens of dimensional anchors in sequence. The alien staging area, built up over centuries of preparation, vanished in seconds. The quantum shockwave expanded outward at faster-than-light speeds, carrying a signature that every advanced civilization in the galaxy could detect. Across thousands of star systems, scientists and military commanders stopped what they were doing to stare at their instruments. Admiral Thekvor watched the energy readings with amazement. What kind of weapon creates a signature like that? Unknown, sir, his aide replied. But it came from the void territories, from exactly where the human ship was operating. The shockwave continued expanding, announcing to the entire galaxy that something unprecedented had happened in the Forbidden Zone. It was a message written in pure energy, impossible to ignore or misinterpret. In the ruins of the staging area, twisted metal and broken dimensional anchors drifted through space. The reality parasite's invasion plans lay in ruins, their massive fleet reduced to scattered survivors. The chain reaction had destroyed centuries of preparation in a single moment, but in the aftermath of the explosion, something impossible appeared on the sensors of the approaching council ships. Life signs, human life signs, still active in the wreckage. Somehow, against all odds, some of the crew of the New Horizon had survived their own quantum explosion. They were trapped in the ruins of the enemy fleet, surrounded by the debris of their victory. But they were alive. The galaxy had received humanity's message loud and clear. Now it was time for the response. The rescue fleet arrived to find something that challenged everything the galaxy thought it knew about warfare. The New Horizon was gone, vaporized in its own quantum explosion. But scattered throughout the wreckage of the alien staging area, human survivors had built fortified positions from the debris of enemy ships. Ambassador Kyo-Min Seo stood on the bridge of the Council rescue ship, staring at the tactical display in amazement. She had been Earth's first official representative to the Galactic community, rushing here with the rescue fleet. But what she found was not a rescue mission. "They are still fighting," she whispered. Captain Jin-Woo Lee's voice crackled over the communication system from a makeshift command center built inside a destroyed alien vessel. "This is Jin-Woo Lee, acting commander of human forces in the Void Territories. Who am I speaking to?" "This is Ambassador Kyo-Min Seo, representing Earth and the human government." "Captain, how are you still alive? Our sensors showed your ship was destroyed in the quantum explosion." "Most of the ship was destroyed," Jin-Woo replied. "But our escape pods survived because they were shielded by the alien dimensional anchor we were attacking. The anchor absorbed most of the explosion's energy before it collapsed." High Counselor Veltar, leader of the Galactic Council, had come personally to witness the aftermath of humanity's impossible battle. The tall, ancient being had lived for over 1,000 years and had never seen anything like this. "Captain Lee," Veltar spoke into the communication system. "I am High Counselor Veltar of the Galactic Council. We need to understand what happened here. What happened is that we found your nightmare hiding in the closet," Jin-Woo replied bluntly. "The reality parasites were preparing to invade inhabited space. We stopped them, but there are still survivors scattered throughout this region. So young Park's voice joined the conversation from another position. Hi, Counselor. We have been tracking parasite survivors for the past several days. They are trying to rebuild their dimensional anchors. If they succeed, they can resume their invasion plans. Taemin, broadcasting from a fortified engineering station, added his own report. Sir, we have been using salvaged alien technology against them. Their own weapons work quite well once you figure out how to operate them. Kyo-min felt a mixture of pride and terror. Her people had not only survived in the most dangerous place in the galaxy, they had made it their hunting ground. How many survivors do you have? She asked. 43 humans still operational. Yujin Kang reported from a weapons platform she had built from alien wreckage. We lost 62 people in the explosion, but the rest of us have been keeping busy. High Counselor Veltar studied the tactical reports his ships were sending him. The humans had established a network of defensive positions throughout the destroyed staging area. They were using captured alien technology with modifications that no other species had ever attempted. Captain Lee, your tactical data broadcasts have been received throughout the galaxy. Every major civilization is analyzing your discoveries. About the reality parasites? Good, Jinwoo replied, because there are more of them out there. This was just one staging area. We have detected parasite activity in at least 6 other void territories. That information sent shockwaves through the Council fleet. The reality parasites were not just a single threat that had been eliminated. They were a galaxy-wide infestation that had been growing in secret for centuries. Han-Nol Choi had been analyzing the alien technology they had captured. High Counselor, I have been studying their dimensional manipulation systems. The technology is incredibly advanced, but it has a critical weakness. What weakness? Veltar asked. It requires organic operators with specific brain structures. The parasites can only use their reality-bending abilities through biological interfaces. But human brain chemistry is completely incompatible with their systems. Dr. Yoon Seo Lim added her own analysis. That means humans can operate their technology without being affected by the reality manipulation side effects. We can use their own weapons against them without losing our grip on what is real. The implications were staggering. Humanity was not just immune to the parasite's primary weapon, they could actually turn that weapon against its creators. Dong Hyun Nam had been leading hunting parties through the wreckage, tracking down parasite survivors. Counselor, we have eliminated 17 parasite command nodes in the past 3 days. Each one we destroy makes it harder for them to coordinate their remaining forces. Ambassador Seo felt overwhelmed by what her people had accomplished. Captain, Earth sent me here to negotiate humanity's first contact with the galactic community. I was not expecting to find that we had already declared war on the galaxy's oldest enemy. Sometimes first contact does not go according to plan, Jinwoo replied with what sounded like a tired smile. But we have learned a lot about fighting these things. Information that the galaxy needs. High Counselor Veltar made a decision that would change galactic policy forever. Captain Lee, the Galactic Council formally requests human assistance in securing the remaining void territories. Your people have demonstrated capabilities that we desperately need. What kind of assistance? Kyo-min asked. Military cooperation, technology sharing, joint operations to eliminate the parasite threat before it can reorganize. Veltar paused. Earth would be granted full council membership immediately, with special status as our primary anti-parasite specialists. Mi Ray Song, broadcasting, from a communications center built in the ruins of an alien command ship, had been monitoring galactic news feeds. Ambassador, you should see this. The quantum explosion has been detected by civilizations across the galaxy. Everyone is talking about what humans did here. Kyomin accessed the galactic news networks and was amazed by what she found. The human attack on the staging area was being called the greatest military victory in galactic history. Civilizations that had never heard of Earth were now studying human tactical methods. "We are famous," she told Jinwoo. "Famous for being crazy enough to attack something that every other species was too smart to fight," he replied. But it worked. Taemin had been working with the Council's engineers to understand the alien technology. "High Counselor, we can modify our quantum drives to detect parasite activity throughout the galaxy. With your sensor networks and our detection methods, we can map all their hidden bases. And then we can hunt them down systematically," Yujin added from her weapons platform. "These things have been hiding in the dark for too long. Time to turn on the lights." High Counselor Veltar felt something he had not experienced in centuries: hope. For thousands of years, the galaxy had dealt with the reality parasites through containment and avoidance. Now, for the first time, there was a real chance for victory. "Ambassador Seo, I am prepared to offer Earth full membership in the Galactic Council, along with primary responsibility for anti-parasite operations throughout Council space." Kyomin thought about the implications. Humanity would go from being unknown primitives to being the galaxy's most important military specialists in a single day. "What would that involve?" she asked. "Human colonies in the Void territories to serve as permanent bases for hunting operations. Human military advisors, training multi-species forces in anti-parasite tactics. Human technology integrated into Council defense systems." Dr. Park had been listening to the negotiations while continuing her scientific work. "Ambassador, we should accept. These parasites are not going to give up just because we destroyed one base. They will keep trying to invade inhabited space. Someone needs to stop them permanently," Jinwoo agreed. "We came out here to find aliens. We found them, and they turned out to be hostile. Now, we know what humans are good at in this galaxy. We are the species that fights the things other species cannot fight." 3 months later, Admiral Jinwoo Lee stood on the bridge of the new human starbase built in the heart of the former Void territory. Around him, mixed crews of humans and aliens worked together, preparing for the next phase of operations against the reality parasites. The base was surrounded by a fleet of ships using hybrid human-alien technology. Earth had provided the quantum, computer systems, and tactical doctrine, while the Council had contributed advanced weapons and faster-than-light communications. "Admiral," Lieutenant Eugene Kang reported from the tactical station, "we have detected parasite activity in the Kepler Void territory. Looks like they are trying to rebuild." "Assemble the hunting fleet," Jinwoo ordered. "Let us go remind them why that is a bad idea." As the human-led fleet prepared to jump to its next target, signals were being detected from even more distant galaxies. The quantum explosion that destroyed the staging area had been noticed by parasite forces throughout the universe. They knew now that their ancient enemies had found new allies, but humanity was ready for whatever came next. They had received no message from the galaxy, but they had sent one that could not be ignored. The message was simple. Earth's children were here, and they were not going to hide from the dark. The galaxy would never be the same.